Flutter main dominates in the playoffs, and that's just how it is. As Blissey gets paralyzed for yet a third time. Do we get a fourth? We do get a fourth paralysis on the Blissey. And rips another Draco Meteor after having its attack lowered. Gets 2 KOs, 2 Draco Meteors in a row. It can't be stopped. But the way he effectively got his Flutter main onto the field has entirely changed the course of this battle. And then he would have not only KO'd the Ferrothorn, but also KO'd whatever needed to break the substitute next. And the Black Dog would have started with just a 4-6 lead by like turn 7, maybe? It's a little different. If you haven't seen Greninja this generation, Battle Bond works a little differently. I think he made a big mistake in the team he brought Game to. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the quarterfinals Draft League playoff match of the Black Dog, my own brother, versus Hector, the Rain team, with 2 Reggies on it. Now, this match, it's only got 1 Reggie, but, you know, there's multiple matches, and spoilers, he brings both. So, get excited, because this was one of the best matches of the season, and I can't even remember what happened, if I'm being honest, because it was just a blur. It was so exciting. I pissed my pants. So we got a lot of chatter in the chat, but I got that cut off, so you can't see that. We got Reggie lead versus Blissey. Both go for some Stealth Rocks, as the Black Dog goes to the Green Ranger, who, if I remember correctly, puts in a ton of work this match, so you should pay attention to just how Latios controls the field. Pelipper switches out. The Rain is set up. Reggie is kind of weaker with the Rain because it's boosting the power of water, which weakens him, so maybe he has a Terra type to help prevent that. But instead, the Green Ranger just drops a raw Draco Meteor doing 58%, lowers its special attack stats so that even an Energy Ball still isn't enough to secure a KO, doing only 28% and allowing the Regirock to return with a Rock Blast that hits once, twice, and 3 times for a total of 33% damage, which is my favorite number, if you were wondering. And then Green Ranger, continuing this onslaught of attacks, tries to rip a Psychic. I don't know if that was to catch like a switch option or what. Black Dog was confident it would KO, however, and it catches the Zapdos, doing a decent 24%. The Black Dog goes to Blissey, which I think in this situation is the correct answer. Zapdoses typically aren't very offensive, although on Rain teams they tend to be with things like Thunder, Discharge, Hurricane, etc. But from what we're seeing so far, it's sort of like a utility Hurricane and Thunder Wave set. And you're going to see that this game gets crazy right away. Turn 1, instantly paralyzed. Turn 2, Blissey gets paralyzed again. But it's so specially tanky that even a Kingdra in the Rain is doing only 21%, as Blissey gets paralyzed for yet a third time. Do we get a fourth? We do get a fourth paralysis on the Blissey. That's what, 30%, 33% odds of happening? Terrible luck. Now, a smart player knows Blissey has the ability Natural Cure. So what that does is when Blissey would switch out, it would instantly heal this paralysis. But for some reason, the Black Dog isn't doing that. And in the chat, he leads us to believe that this Blissey doesn't have it. So maybe it was some sort of Serene Grace offensive Blissey. Who's to say? But on the 5th turn in a row, Pelipper comes out, takes Rocks damage, showing that it's probably a Damp Rock set, as the Blissey goes for the Seismic Toss. Doesn't Soft Boil, actually tosses. Gets another turn. What does Blissey do? Gets paralyzed again. Swampert's out. Goes for a bulk up, setting up on the Blissey, as the Blissey gets a Sunny Day. Very smart carrying the Sunny Day, as the Black Dog had no way to combat this weather, so he brings Sunny Day to combat it instead. And then the Swampert gets a KO. Now he's boosted, his defense is boosted, his attack is boosted, but his power is weakened by the sun. Green Ranger comes out. Hector switches, knowing that it's carrying that Energy Ball and probably outspeeds the Swampert now that the Rain is down. So instead he goes in the Zapdos, who is a resist. That's a very smart play. Zapdos sets up his own Rain. Doesn't even need the Pelipper, but gets sniped with them giant Draco Meteor. An absolutely powerhouse attack from the Latios, just controlling the field, as we said earlier. As the Green Ranger tanks the Dragon Pulse and rips another Draco Meteor after having its attack lowered, gets 2 KOs, 2 Draco Meteors in a row. It can't be stopped. Greninja comes out, and the Black Dog saves the Latios for later, because he is just doing tons of work with the Latios. Goes into Magnezone, who originally I agreed with, but seeing that damage output, I disagree with that switch. Goes into the Flutter main, puts it at risk, takes 66% damage, letting his ace take a huge amount of damage, but threatens out the Greninja and rips a Moonblast that does 52% of the Swampert. Rain goes down, gets to rip another Moonblast for free, and gets a KO on the Regirock. So originally I would say that the Black Dog was in a terrible place, but the way he effectively got his Flutter Mane onto the field has entirely changed the course of this battle. So, he gets that Moonblast KO, Swampert comes out, it's slow, it gets KO'd by Moonblast as well, and we have a Greninja here who's obviously weak to Moonblast. Flutter Mane comes in and just absolutely turns the tables and destroys Hector, who had a ton of great luck, had a ton of momentum, but Flutter Mane is just such a powerful demon, it's able to completely turn those tables just like that. Now we're moving on to game 2, and we're right off the heels of the Black Dog just completely dominating in game 1. And we see that some changes have been made. It looks like the Black Dog is running the same exact team, hopefully maybe with Natural Cure on Blissey this time. But now, Hector has made significant changes. We see Clefable has moved into the lineup, Urshifu Rapid has moved into the lineup, Reggie Ice has moved into the lineup. He dropped there's no Pelipper, no Kingdra, and no Mega Swampert, who are 3 Pokemon he's relied heavily on this season, instead opting for a much more defensive loadout. But does bring the raw power of his Urshifu Rapid. Let's see how this plays for him. Goes for a lead Ferrothorn versus a lead Lucario. And then we go into Magnezone, who is a classic Ferrothorn counter with his Iron Defense and Magnet Pull Body Press set. Sorry for spoiling what he is right away. We can kind of fast forward. He gets the Leech Seed off, which does help Hector not get totally dominated by this Magnezone. Had the Magnezone brought Substitute, I think this would have been game from the get-go. He could have just subbed up to prevent the Leech Seed, Iron Defense to the top, and then he would have not only KO'd the Ferrothorn, but also KO'd whatever needed to break the Substitute next. And the Black Dog would have started with just a 4-6 lead by like turn 7, maybe. Could have been huge. But instead, Magnezone just gets 1 KO, as I believe Greninja comes out and secures the KO with Surf. That is correct. That's what happens. Now, Greninja gets Battle Bond boosted. Looks a little different. If you haven't seen Greninja this generation, Battle Bond works a little differently. If he switches out, he loses this boost. But he has no time to switch out and show us, as Flutter Mane exerting that pressure already this game, securing the KO on Greninja. Regirock and Blissey, just like last match. Looks like Blissey is just trying to Seismic Toss, but takes a ton of Rocky Helmet Chip and the Ice Punch. Okay, whoa, I was just going to say, Blissey's starting to look useless, but he's able to Healing Wish and pass it to the Flutter Mane, his strongest threat, and just brings it back to full health. I think that was extremely smart, extremely cool. Goes for a Terra Fire. Interesting Terra choice, if you ask me, as the Black Dog is revealing his signature Terra Normal, Extreme Speed Swords Dance Lucario, and isn't actually able to even secure the KO on a Regirock, and kind of becomes useless. But Mega Pincers on the field, is able to pick up a quick attack KO, using that priority to safely secure the KO. Gets a knockoff, does nothing to the Regice, who then returns with an Ice Beam, making short work. This is turning into a face-punching match where everybody's just KO, KO, KO. Not a lot is actually happening except just all-out offense on both sides. And Hector kind of loses this matchup in just a face-punching match because he's brought defense this game. I think he made a big mistake in the team he brought game 2, if I'm being honest. But Regice is almost able to KO the Green Ranger. Latios can't even KO with the Draco Meteor. Just a testament to Regice's 200 special defense. I mean, it's incredibly tanky. Flutter Mane comes in, gets the Moonblast, and looks like it just sweeps from here. Reverse sweep, the Black Dog with only 1 Pokemon left comes in and Moonblast the Clefable, lowers its special attack. He tries to Calm Mind. Another Moonblast gets the KO, and then out comes the Urshifu, who can't KO a Flutter Mane and gets blasted. Flutter Mane dominates in the playoffs, and that's just how it is. Reverse sweeps 2 games in a row. Hector was not prepared for it, and that's the story of how it happened. Holy crap, I didn't realize when I was watching it live just how instrumental Flutter Mane was to that victory.